ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to a Cantina conversation. My name is the Dark Lord, Travis Snow.
Ooh. I am the heavy breathing Taylor Field.
Oh boy. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a smaller one. We've not done this before, but because I have some questions as well that I will try to ask Taylor, not to make it too long. But we are reviewing a fan film, which I'm surprised we're saying, but it's very well done. Darth Vader, Shards of the Past. I don't know if I like the word shard.
Shard.
I think they could have found something else. You know, shards just makes me think of other stuff. But
Kybers of the Past.
No, not that. So this is about, it's 16 minutes, but really it's about 12 minutes. So I'd say easily go and watch it. It's on YouTube. Yeah, I'm a fan of fan films, but not like I didn't mean to trash talking, but really sometimes I don't pay attention to them because like the budget's very low. I think they're very cool. I think that Darth Maul one that was done years ago was fantastic. I think Star Wars ones are some of the best ones. Star Wars and honestly Batman ones are really well done too. And I think just because they have big fan base and lots of love put in them, you can easily get people. So. But usually, I don't take note of like I gotta watch it right away. Taylor had brought it up. I kind of dismissed him. Was like, oh yeah, I'll get to it at some point.
Oh, he shut me down. I sent him the trailers for it. And
like
he just shut it down.
But I was like, yeah, I'll maybe watch it at some point. Then I had heard the hype, so I watched it. Obviously, at times with costumes and whatnot, it kind of suffers from some fan film stuff like, oh, that looks a little cheap here and there. But really, it's fantastic. It's very well done, and it's to a point that I'm gonna ask Taylor a question once he's done talking about it. But it's a good look into the psyche of Vader. The acting is really well done, especially from the Emperor. I really liked his voice acting, and it is a fun little kind of what if scenario. It reminds me very similar to a Force Unleashed sort of deal with some stuff behind the scenes. There's some good shots. I was very impressed by. There's some stuff when the droids are on fire that looks like a little cheap, and that's the stuff that's where I'm like, well, fan film, but. Like, the shots of Vader and the way he looked was really great. So, yeah, I'm excited to talk about it a little bit more, but I'm also going to follow with a question that's going to be what the topic of this cast is while talking about this fan film. So, Taylor, what do you think about this? Because I imagine you're a fan film connoisseur.
Yeah, like, I love that Darth Maul one that came out back in the day.
And then when they used it to troll us on April Fools for the Netflix series.
Oh, yeah. Jesus, that was brutal. But yeah, no, it's funny enough because it's actually the Battlefront that actually linked this to me. I had no idea that this was even in the works, but it's cool that it's a series, so there's part 2 on the way and stuff like that.
Yeah, I didn't watch the video when it says like what can you do to make sure part 2 happens. I'm gonna after, but hopefully it's just watching and sharing it.
Yeah. So. I thought it was super cool. I had no idea what exactly it was covering because when it started at first, it just showed Darth Vader like choking the Emperor and just going to town on these clone troopers. Like it was so cool, and I love that it's taking place really like right after Revenge of the Sith in that sense. It was very very awesome, and I thought this is it's very exciting, and the action was just very well done. I felt like every time they filmed Vader, it just showed that it looked like it was Darth Vader.
Yeah, it was really good.
They showcased him. And I love the different locations that they did. I thought it was very well done. And the CGI aspect, too, with the Venator-class destroyers and the ships and everything. And even Naboo was just beautifully done.
Yeah, I was really surprised about the exterior shots of the planets and Naboo and everything. That looked really good. Because I was like, did they... and I don't think they did, but I almost felt like they had taken shots from the movie or something like some other... behind the scenes or something like that. So if not, very well done.
Yeah. When he got to... Like, my favorite part with Darth Vader is when, like, he loses his lightsaber when he just... I'm sure it's everyone's favorite part, but uses the Force and stops all of the laser blaster fires and just boom.
Little Kylo Ren action.
Kylo Ren action, yeah. Super cool. And a great nod.
I also thought Luke Skywalker was going to do that in Last Jedi, but it was a hologram. Well, I thought that's how he's going to get out of it. When they all shot at him, I thought he was going to throw it back, and fans will love that, but didn't happen.
But yeah, on Naboo, I love that too, when it's just like the scenery, and they have that whole actual church kind of set up or whatever that they have, and I'm assuming 100% that it's Mace Windu.
Well, yeah, 100%.
So if that's the case, I think that's super
They've
cool.
even used them on the thumbnail of like, I'll try and find it, but how you can make the sequel happen.
I don't think I saw that.
Oh yeah, like I said, I'm gonna watch it after just to see like what the deal is, because I imagine it did take a little time and it's expensive, but they used it on their own thumbnail. Look, it looks like Mace Windu there, and
which thumbnail?
The one where the mouse is.
Oh yeah,
so,
definitely.
What I was gonna say, and this is what the question I was gonna ask you now, because do you have much more to say on the actual film?
No.
So what I was gonna say is, one of my problems, that's what I love about, and Taylor has a different approach from me, what I love about this one is I really liked it showing the psyche of Vader. One, the kind of vision or dream that he had about killing Palpatine because of Padme. That point when Padme is there and turns around and then her eyes turn into the Emperor, that's some scary shit. I don't want to have that dream of any of my love interests in the past or currently. So, like, that happened, and then the nice little back and forth they had after when he does wake up and I feel, conflict in you. A little like Snoke and Kylo Ren, she even drops the, like, let's finish what we started, and I was like, okay. That line was a little cheesy for me because it's ripped from the... But I get it. They're doing Easter eggs, so it's fun, it's a fan film, that's what we kind of do. My problem... Well, not my problem, but one of my problems with prequels, that, like, the biggest one is definitely Anakin and Vader. And I always said Taylor takes the approach that Anakin and Vader are separate people, so when Anakin dies that day, it's Vader and he's off to a new. For me, but for me, always my problem was seeing episode 3 and then jumping to episode 4, and you don't get to see that transition into Vader. He's just robot now. And I've always said I wish, and one day I think we're going to do a cast about those things we would change to Star Wars, and I always want to talk about the prequels, because I always wish that we maybe skipped the whole him as a kid and like Attack of the Clones and Revenge stuff, hopefully done better in my opinion, were 1 and 2, and then there'd be a third one about that transition of him becoming Vader, and then that ending with him being full-on Vader and robotic. Because when we meet him in episode 4, up until he finds out Luke's his son, he's full on, like in this fan film, they show his conflict about, working with Emperor Palpatine and everything like that. Until he meets Luke, he's full on with the cause now. We've always heard that he's had ideas of killing Emperor, but really he's just a big jam dog. He's never gonna do it. He's just like, he cowers and he's just like, ooh, I wish I would do it, but I'm not gonna, until Luke's life's on the line. I always wish that the third prequel movie was Obi-Wan's still alive or somebody's still alive, and it was seeing how he has transitioned from Anakin to be Vader, because we only had to see Vader for literally 2 minutes in Revenge of the Sith, and I think, especially when George talked about like the becoming of Darth Vader and seeing the early days of Darth Vader, I feel like you kind of get that, but you see that, you see Anakin, you don't see Darth Vader, and for me, I would have loved that. And with this, I don't know if it's the case, but we're at a point now where the prequels have come out, we've had these other, Solo, Rogue One, which featured Vader. Do you think, because some people have thrown this out here, and I don't know if it's plausible, but seeing something like this, it would make me want it. Do you think a Solo Vader, either series or movie live action through Disney actually produced, is possible? Or do you think we're past that point?
I think it's possible. I think there's a lot of flack with the standalone, anthology films right now, but there's a lot of people that, advocate for, a Darth Vader standalone film. And I think that they can see the success of him in Rogue One. That's a huge thing there. People want to know the story, and even in the comics, I think it's much easier to show, as opposed to showing Anakin turning and doing dark things and making the transition to the dark side. It's so much easier to show Darth Vader in these scenarios, dreaming and fantasizing. Because in the comics, I just finished the recently completed Darth Vader comic series, and he does so much of that where he is thinking and just pondering about, whether it be like his choices, and his past, and he thinks about it so much, and I really like that, because that is what, could really make Vader build up to be what he was in A New Hope.
Well, and that's what I liked about this, is because some people would probably say, like, oh, like, we've had so much Vader, Rogue One, the 6 movies, we've not had a Vader movie, and people would say, oh, like the prequels. I don't consider them one, because we talk about this in how many casts we've done today, but the prequels, you look at Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, Anakin, even Padme to an extent, there's not like one main character. It's not like, even with Lord of the Rings, there's so many main characters, but it feels like, at least for the most of it, you're following Frodo, and then other characters get bigger. But with the prequels, it shifts all the time as far as who's like the main character. Mm-hmm. And as far as Vader, that stuff, like you were saying, the visions, him having a struggle, we don't really get that. In Revenge of the Sith, it's not much of a struggle once he finds out Padme can live, right? He kills, and then he's a machine. And then in the OG trilogy, it's a minor struggle, but it's not, it's all, you're just seeing Vader not even talking. It's just Luke saying, you're going to turn. You don't see that. So the conflict that I've seen done, and that's why for me, I compare it to Force Unleashed, because that's other time where you don't really see a conflict, but you got to see some of those inner workings of Vader, and I would love that, and that was the biggest thing with this. My thing is, as far as a film, do you make Vader, let's say they say that, they say we're going to make a Darth Vader movie similar to this, is Darth Vader the protagonist? Because in my mind, as far as what I say in the prequels, let's say my rewriting of history is Obi-Wan's still around, and you're having him go after Vader. They have their fight, and obviously he goes to Tatooine, and then Vader goes off. Because at some point, and some people pitch that too, that Obi-Wan, and if there's an Obi-Wan movie, maybe that villain, Vader, is in it, and that's what it is. What do you do? Is Vader the protagonist in a movie that's a standalone? Do you have a Mace Windu and Obi-Wan, someone like that is hunting Vader after Vader? Because I think for a fan film and what we want, I think you look at Kylo Ren in Last Jedi. I love that. I think lots of people love that you get to get in his brain. But you still have Rey as your good guy protagonist. So what would you do in the kind of framing of a Vader solo film if that were to happen? And you legitimately think it could? You think in the next 10 years, what's your percent? Next 10 years we get a Vader, I'll let you say series as well. Solo film or series.
Next 10 years we get something Vader related.
And it's him, mostly him or him and another person. It's not like Rogue One where he's appearing. It's like this where it's a study. You could have an Obi-Wan or Mace, but my percent, I'm going 10. I think it's pretty low. I really do.
I would go maybe like a 20 to 25%.
Okay, so you're pretty low as well too.
Yeah, I can see it happening, and that's why I'm putting like a quarter of the way there. Because if it happens, I wouldn't be super surprised, but I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah.
I think once we see what happens with the app with the Mandalorian and Cassian, I think that's a big telling of what's going to happen and what they do with that. So again, I guess so the percentage you answered. What would you do as far as the film? How would you kind of frame it as far as if you do a Vader one? Because at the same point, yeah, he's Vader, but do you make a villain the main movie for the mainstream and stuff like that?
Yes, I would not.
That's just my dog shaking. Get down! Anakin, drop!
There's no way I would throw Obi-Wan in. I would keep Obi-Wan completely separate. His appearance does not happen with Darth Vader again until A New Hope. I think that needs to stay.
Really? Because some people have said that the Obi-Wan movie could be that of Vader trying to hunt down Obi-Wan, or Obi-Wan trying to, for one last time, turn Anakin to the good side.
You could do it, but
I don't know. Because they've reworked other things like that before. When in the OG trilogy, it was like this is the last time it happened, or last time characters saw each other. But then in Clone Wars, Rebels, or like look at Maul, right? Maul's the biggest example of he was dead, never seen again, but then up until Solo, he was doing all this stuff for years that apparently he was still alive, right? So it has happened where they've kind of retconned or changed.
I would just look at it as, he's in exile and he's there protecting Luke. That is his goal. He would not compromise that whatsoever because, as he said, he believes that Luke is the chosen one and so forth, either as you learn in Rebels.
Yeah.
But, that being said, now going to, who would be in this, I think, 100%, I think the way Shards of the Past started would make for a great Darth Vader movie. Literally have it like that, and then have Darth Vader... Yeah, and then have Darth Vader wake up, and he's just he's been summoned, and he goes to the Emperor and stuff, and then I wouldn't have it Mace Windu or anything like that.
No, and especially Sam Jackson. Well, I guess they can de-age him if they really wanted to.
They could.
I think I know characters... Well, I don't know. Because Darth Maul's that way. I was going to say Mace Windu got destroyed in such a powerful way that I feel like he would be dead, hand chopped off, and then force lightning and thrown into a building. But Darth Maul was half a body and fell down a ventilation shaft, so he could come back if they really wanted to.
It's true. I think, whether or not it's him killing the Emperor, or maybe he's dreaming about, getting Natalie Portman, Hayden Christensen in there, and they could have their kids or something. Legit, just have a scene like that, and you just think it starts off oh no, it lets you know that it's a dream sequence.
Yeah, or if it would have went good.
Yeah, and then it shows Darth Vader waking up, and then have it where he's hunting a Jedi, and we know there's tons of Jedi left, so they could easily make one up or something. And I think that'd be a very cool idea of him hunting this Jedi, and then maybe there could be subtle clues that is placed in there where the Jedi starts to get a sense of who Vader is, because even in the comics there are certain Jedi, at least I think there was one that he encountered where he actually figures out who Vader was. And it's just
I remember, yeah.
And I think that makes for a very, very good story.
Mm-hmm. For me, I go with the most fanboy answer, so they'd never do it. But I honestly would have something similar to Force Unleashed, where you could have. I don't know if it needs to be apprentice, but and I don't think you need the whole when they introduced him having a bunch of clone apprentices. You don't need a bunch of the cloning, but I think you could have something like that, a new character that could die off, and you wouldn't have to worry about who do they see, blah blah blah. and you could have someone, if they were that close to Vader, you could see his struggles through that character, or you can easily, that character's having seen with Vader, you follow Vader, and you have Vader talking about that, whatnot. I think Force Unleashed, I'm not saying you'd have to, it's the same way as Old Republic, right? We know we're not going to get, if we ever get, we're not going to get like the full-on Revan copy story, but I would like something like that, where maybe there's a secret repentance, maybe you do play at the, he wants to turn on the Emperor, but he can't do it. I think that would be a solid way, because I don't think there is, I'm not opposed to the Obi-Wan thing like you are, but I don't know if there's any certain one character I'm like, that should be the lead, so that's why I would go with a new made-up character.
Yeah, if they went with like a Force Unleashed approach, I'd be totally down for that. If they adapted that, like he's going and he's like storming Kashyyyk and he's killing Wookiees and stuff.
Oh
and
my
then,
god, don't even say that.
It'd be so
that was live
crazy.
action, oh man.
Oh, it would be so good. And then he gets into a fight with a Jedi and then finds the son and then just kills the Imperials and then that would be so good. And not doing a time jump, but actually like covering, you know, moments of him training this apprentice. Oh yeah.
Especially as a young kid, when you was a kid, you had those parallels. You can bring back Jake Lloyd. No. And this was the last thing I'll ask on this list. If you have anything to add, it's kind of to do with the Vader. But the thing that I thought about this is this was great. But right when I saw the Clone Troopers, I was like, okay, this is the era we're in. Okay, I understand. But as far as we're talking about Vader and a solo film, all this, we have comics and we have the video games, and we said a couple of years ago, like at Celebration, they seemed like they were accepting the prequels more. But as far as the movies, they're still, like, they do prequels, but they're staying pretty clear of that prequel era, I should say. Would that hurt it? Because I feel like you look at the prequels, I think they get less hate now because some people don't like Last Jedi and stuff like that and Solo. But with that, do you still feel like they worry that people see those clones, they see something they associate with those three movies? Do you think the fact that we couldn't get something so soon after is they're worrisome of playing with prequels? Because even with the TV shows they've announced, Mandalorian in the future, and then casting, which I'm excited for, but it's that 3 to 4 era, I want actually more prequel stuff. I would just like it to be done a bit differently, not everything be so shiny and new, but something like we talked about this before with Qui-Gon, like what is your time frame of when you could get something in the prequel area again, as far as movies and TV shows, and does that hurt the chance of Vader happening in the way we want?
There is so much coverage of the prequels, especially Attack of the Clones being...
But not in movie, not in live action form, I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I think that Disney coming back and tackling another season of the Clone Wars is then taking literally their first step back into the prequel era. I think that's them acknowledging it, and that's them probably making the next step, and who knows, maybe then we'll get something live action related that focuses more on that. I think, you know, they're focusing obviously a lot on like with the Mandalorian at first, on that kind of era between 6 and 7, and then they're obviously doing Cassian Andor, which is focusing between 3 and 4, and then the Clone Wars is their thing that happens in the prequel era, and I feel like it'll just keep going more and more from there than that point on, because it seems like they're just going like backwards. They announced that coming out, and then
Mandalorian is backwards, but it's the most forward as far as like the new canon, right?
Yeah.
How would you feel about Ahsoka being the lead in a Darth Vader film? Like,
I'd be down. 110%.
Because that could be your way you kill her off too. Because everyone always, like, obviously Rebels, she was revealed to be alive, right? And
well, she's alive at the end of Return of the Jedi.
How do you know?
They confirmed with Rebels.
When does Rebels happen?
Rebels.
Oh right, Rebels doesn't have like a tap, right?
It has its ending, and then it shows in the future, like the end of when they actually win the war, and it shows Ahsoka going off with. This is a spoiler with
Ezra.
No, because Ezra is lost in space.
Oh right.
Ezra and Thrawn are still alive.
Your hopes.
But lots of Dave Filoni confirms.
Aren't they in the Outer Rim or something like that? That's what they are.
I know. Which makes me super excited because the Mandalorian has stormtroopers in there, and if Thrawn's in there controlling it, ooh.
I can see Thrawn being used for TV shows. So I guess I can't kill Ahsoka, but she could be a lead she could do the reverse Obi-Wan of trying to pull her friend back. I didn't see Rebels, but I from what I assumed is that she found it was Anakin, she knew it was him, but there was pretty much just like one big fight scene they had, right?
They knew that each other was alive and when they were fighting in space and starfighters, and then they escaped, and then they actually come to an actual moment where they fight each other, and that moment. His mask gets damaged and you see his face, and then she like stands down and he's like like, I won't fight you, Master, and he's like, then you will die, and he ignites his light. Like, it's such a powerful moment.
And that's my problem with that and Maul, that I feel like they're not going to do stuff because they did in the
I
cartoons,
know.
and I want them to do it live action. There's nothing wrong with anime, but I want it on the big screen.
Yeah,
So.
no, I agree.
You got anything else to say on Vader or the prequel kind of era movies of when we could? You say Clone Wars, you kind of send back that. So I'll say I won't go 10 years, but I'll go 5 years. 5 years we get a live action in the prequel era sort of thing. What is your percent
if
there?
we're not like okay, then if you're saying. Because I'll stand by 10 years, 25% we get like something
Vader.
Darth Vader.
Okay.
Now if we're talking just prequel I
era.
say
live action series or movie.
live action prequel era. Does that include prequel and anything before, like Knights of the Republic stuff? Or?
No, I think that's different because that's so far back. I think prequel having to do with that time zone or with that like a young Qui-Gon, a young Duke, like that sort of deal.
Then I'll say there's probably like a 65 to 70% chance that we
70
will, within 5 years that we'll get something prequel live action related. I don't see why not. Like they could honestly be like, we're gonna do a Jango Fett's. No, that's Mandalorian.
Yeah, no, that's Mandalorian. Yeah. I'd go 45. I can't do the 50, but I'd go 45. So. Yeah, so we talked about the Shards. We both very much liked it. I'm not going to rate it because it's just like, it's a 12-minute thing. I would rate it, go watch it if you're a Star Wars fan. They did a very good job. I'm excited to do, see the next episode, and we'll probably talk about it. I'm excited to see actor who they get from Mace Windu. Like, they're not going to get him big, but I just mean like how he portrays and whatnot. And I love Mace Windu. He's up there with Qui-Gon. I would love to see like a young Mace Windu sort of deal. So, yeah, you have anything else to add on this?
No, it's a great show.
I'm gonna dive in this channel. What Darth Plagueis really thought of Darth Maul? That's exciting.
Ooh, I don't think Darth Plagueis knew about Darth Maul.
Well, I guess we'll give them a plug too. They're Star Wars Theory. That's the one. If you haven't watched Star Wars Theory, is the website. They got a lot of good like fan stuff and a lot of just like theories. So yeah, check them out. But
yeah, no, it's Shards of the Past. It was great, definitely entertaining. Solid 15 minutes.
65%.
Yeah, I think there's a 65% chance that we'll get something live action in the prequel era. Easily.
So yeah, this last question I'll ask. Mine is Qui-Gon. Is yours Qui-Gon, or is there one? If you could pick one character prequel era it has to be centered around, who are you picking?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I could easily see them go with young Obi-Wan for some reason.
And then an older Qui-Gon.
Yeah.
I'd still be down. Anything Qui-Gon, that'd be really good. And then you got 3 different actors playing Obi-Wan. Well, 4 if you
Clone Wars.
Yeah, count what's his name. So Obi-Wan. But that was you said what you'd see. What would you said you could see them? What was your one pick? Is it
my
Django?
one pick is no Django. Yeah.
Not the adaptation of the video game.
No, my one pick would be
Commander Cody.
Commander Cody. That'd be sick.
Or that deserter guy from the Star Wars Clone.
Oh yeah, with his pink hair.
Sorry, what would be your pick? They come to you and say you can pick any character. We're gonna make a series or movie. You're picking one.
Well, that's different. If they let me pick, I would easily.
You could pick anybody.
Well, if I had the choice of picking anyone and they would do it, I would probably pick like Yoda or something. I'd love to see like prequel and see like his master.
No, but I meant prequel era. Just prequel era.
Okay.
Then I feel like a Yoda prequel is like the Old Republic.
Okay. I'd probably go with the Qui-Gon, Count Dooku kind of thing. But for this sense, my 65 pick though is the Obi-Wan is what I'm going with.
I could see that. That makes sense. And maybe you could have like if it's a series, you could have Ewan McGregor like remembering his old days, right? Or maybe he's talking to Liam Neeson through voice in there.
Oh yeah, there's so many. Yeah, Liam Neeson's got that voice still. You know, use it Use it before he's gone.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in another Cantina Conversations. This was lots of fun. Everywhere we are is down below in the description. If you like what we do, head over to Patreon because me and Tia have an exclusive show right there right now, Star Wars Clone Wars Retro. $1 you can get half of it, $5 you get all of it. We're in the midst of still recording all. We're reviewing every episode of Clone Wars Retro, but really we get in rants and discussions about all things Star Wars. Tim, is there anything you want to add before we get out of here?
No, that is everything.
Well, you can sign us off.
May the Force be with you. Your Darth Vader impersonation?
Yeah, I screwed up. Usually I think he says Whopper like